Welcome back to Season 2 of the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share with you what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. Make sure you never miss an episode and download the Discount Property Investor app in Google Play or iTunes today. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, David Dodge, with the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Mike is out in the field today. However, I am joined by Michael Batista. Did I get that right, Michael?
You got it, man.
All right. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, man. I'm ecstatic, thrilled to be on here.
Cool, man. Well, we're happy to have you. So those who have been following us and listening and watching us on YouTube and whatnot, this is the first time that we're going to be publishing an episode with me and Michael. However, we've done a podcast about a year ago. You were working on a product, and we had done it a little bit prior to you launching that product. Mm-hmm. And the launch got delayed, and we just never put that podcast out. So we're redoing this episode. So I'm actually really excited to have you back on the show again. This is the second time around for me and you, but the first time around for our audience.
Awesome.
Michael, real quick, give us a quick introduction of who you are, where you're located, and tell us a little bit about what kind of investing you're doing with real estate right now.
Yeah, so basically I live down in Florida in Port Charlotte, and I focus specifically on the creative financing side of deals, owner financing, lease purchasing, lease option wholesaling, whatever you want to call it. And I've just been doing that type of deal structure. I hadn't done any flips. I hadn't done any wholesaling. It's just been this creative structure of the business. And this particular platform is more geared towards your lease option wholesaling, your owner financing acquisitions on a massive scale. So
now, what do you mean on a massive scale?
So what you're able to do with the platform is you can pull basically dozens or hundreds or thousands of listings all within the same day, and then send out a massive text messaging campaign and reach people within minutes. It's crazy. We generally get about 30 to 50% response rates with our campaigns. So we have really, it's an on-demand lead system for people who want to talk to people right away and put together deals same day.
Awesome, man. That sounds really cool. So what's it called? What's the system called?
The system is called the Automated REI for real estate investor.
You got a website, I'm assuming, automatedrei.com?
Yep, theautomatedrei.com. Absolutely.
Theautomatedrei.com. Okay, cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
So are you currently doing lease option deals in your market or in other markets, or are you primarily just focused on this software?
Yeah.
Or both?
So I've been doing real estate for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And really for the first year, I was using some other techniques and things of that nature, like cold calling, maybe cold texting, virtual assistants.
Sure.
A lot of time was spent, a lot of money was spent, kind of doing all that stuff manually, right? And I found how much I absolutely hated cold calling. It's just, some people are wired for it, but I'm not a fan of it, not at all. So
yeah,
for my first year, kind of struggled through that entire process, and really this last year really took on this project as a whole, and been focusing specifically on that. I'm not someone who can do generally multiple things at the same time. If I do, I don't usually get things done. So I've been just focusing on creating this particular platform for myself and for others who are watching this podcast.
Okay, cool, man. Well, so you're going to give us a demo today, right?
Yep, I'll be taking everyone through a live demo of how the platform works, what features it has, things that'll be up and coming in an overall time frame, including costs. So
Okay, very cool, man. Well, what we're going to do, so if you're listening to this podcast, me and Michael are going to do our best to describe what we are looking at. And if you're watching it, you'll be just fine. You'll be able to see what we see. But if you are listening to just the audio, we are going to do our absolute best to describe what we're looking at. So that way you can get an idea of what this software can do to help you and how it works. So Michael, if you want to take over the screen sharing,
sure,
that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. And for those guys watching, I'll go ahead and do that live demo. Everyone who's listening in, really a best description is we pull data from the most popular real estate websites. Right now we're doing Zillow, and actually in about 45 days from when this podcast is launched, we'll actually have Craigslist implemented as well. So it works as a scraping platform. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, it basically captures all of the data, all of the listings that are on those websites, and then creates a nice, easy-to-read spreadsheet for you. And then we take it one step further by implementing a mass marketing campaign, in particular text messaging. And the reason we use text messaging is because we found that that's, generally speaking, the best response rates, the most cost-effective way to put our voice, our written message in front of someone. So
got it. Okay. So just to recap here, for those people that can't see the screen yet, you're scraping data. Are you scraping it from multiple places, or is it just coming from Zillow at this point?
As of this particular recording, it's Zillow.
Okay, cool. And then I would imagine you guys are probably working on other sources for the future.
Yes. Yep. Okay. We'll be adding Craigslist about 45 days. It's in the works right now, so it is in development.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So you're scraping data from Zillow, and again, you're focusing more on the lease option side of the business. So what are you looking for? Like whenever people go in and they scrape the data, or your software does it,
yeah,
you have to then tell the software what you're looking for, or does it do that for you? How does that work?
Right. So I set up my campaign. In particular, I like to pull data on the for sale by owner side.
Okay.
We are working on an actual process to effectively scrape the data for the real estate by agents. We can still pull that data, but in terms of a massive text messaging campaign to agents, that's not as effective right now. So I have a
you want to try to reach the owner or the seller directly versus have to go through the agent. So with Zillow, are you able to do that?
Yeah. So what we do is we scrape that data from the owner, and then I like to send out a campaign that sounds something along the lines of, saw your house advertised online, I'm definitely interested. Would you consider doing a short-term 9 to 18 month lease purchase / rent to own? And then it's a very straightforward message. And generally speaking, that message gets me about a 30 to 50% response rate consistently across the board.
Man, that's awesome. That is amazing.
And this is in every market in the United States. I've tested, again, I've been testing this platform for about a year now, working in different markets, different messages. And the message that I've found is generally around that 30 to 50% consistently. So, and it could go up or down if you get more specific or less specific. So, but you have the ability to be able to customize your message however you want. So,
okay, cool. Well, let's jump into the demo here. Okay. So we are logged into theautomatedrei.com for those who are listening. And Michael has a dashboard pulled up here. Michael, what am I looking at here?
Okay, so once you log in, once you log into to the account, you come to this dashboard, and there's a few different things going on. We tried to keep this system very user-friendly, clean. So when you look at this dashboard, it's also mirrored. So everything on this dashboard is also available on the left-hand panel here.
Okay.
Okay.
See that?
So we have our account details. That would be like your name, your email address, your phone number, your PayPal address, and what kind of account you are. And then we have Zillow scraping. Okay, that's our Zillow scraping module.
Yep.
The scraping history, okay, for what scrapes I've done in the past. I have my text messaging campaign, my texting campaign history, and then I have my incoming voicemail box. So a certain percentage of people will actually call you when you send them a text message.
So what phone system are you using? Do you guys have your own phone system integrated in here, or is there a third-party company that you have to use as well? How does that work?
Yeah, we actually designed this from the ground up. And basically right now, we wanted to keep it simple. We don't have a phone system per se where you can make phone calls in and calls out and all that kind of stuff. It really is just a voicemail box that lets people text or lets people call you back. And my voicemail is very straightforward. It says, "Hey, this is Michael. I'm not here right now. Just leave a message." Okay. And I found that to be the most effective way to get data and have things be consistent without overcomplicating things.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you have your help and support. Now you may have used a platform like this in the past, or may have used other scraping systems, and the reasons that they may or may not have worked is because Zillow, particularly Craigslist, are always changing their algorithms. Okay, they're always coming up with new ways to basically stop us from scraping data. Okay, so we maintain a support staff 5 days a week, and it's on a weekly basis, monthly basis, consistently. So most tickets can be resolved within 24 hours. And then also any type of algorithm changes, our team is constantly monitoring our servers and monitoring the code within Zillow, and will be Craigslist moving forward on a daily basis. So as soon as those algorithms change, we're on top of that, and we can quickly recode a fix for that new change and make sure that we stay online. So this is something. So this is something that hasn't really been done in the past. And we also get around the CAPTCHA, the issues with all of that. So everything is integrated within our platform.
Very cool. Okay, cool. Well, let's test it out, man. Let's show us how this works.
Okay, so
What market are we going to be scraping today? We want to do your own market, I guess. Probably want to take advantage of these efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what market are you in, David?
I'm in St. Louis.
You're in St. Louis. Okay, so let's do a test. St. Louis. Okay, and I'll do for sale by owner.
Okay.
Now I'll search by city, St. Louis, Missouri, and Zillow sees this as a keyword, whatever we type in.
Okay. Now St. Louis is kind of strange because it could be st.louis or SAINT, and it could go either way, and there's really no right or wrong.
Okay. So as long as Zillow recognizes either or, then our platform is basically mirrored up with that. Okay,
cool. Okay. And then it looks like you can upload zip codes if you want to do that as well for those people listening.
Correct. So you can upload a maximum of 15 zip codes per search.
Okay.
So if you want to do more than 15, you just do multiple different campaigns.
Sure.
And if you want to be more defined, then I would recommend doing that. But for this demo, we'll just do it by city. Keep it simple here. Yeah. And once I type in St. Louis, the keyword box becomes checked.
Okay.
Now I'll click on my filters box, and I can also do for rent as well. So Zillow does allow us to do for rent. Just keep in mind, if you do for rent, that when you check this, make sure the agent box is checked as well.
Okay.
Because most properties on Zillow are going to be by agents or by property management companies.
Right. So today we're just going to stick to for sale by owners. So that's when you have the listing type is for sale, and then you have the by owner, not the by agent checked.
Yes.
And then
and this pulls every property that would be associated with by owner. So
cool. So if we wanted to then narrow it down, we could do min and max price, bed count, and then home type as well over here on the top.
Yep, absolutely. And then you have your additional filters right here. If I hit more, bathrooms, square footage.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you're basically just using the data that Zillow is already providing and then just sorting it.
Yep, you got it, man. That's really, and I could do a keyword here. So if I want pool homes, whatever I want.
Cool. Okay. Very cool.
So now I'll submit that.
Okay.
Now when I do a campaign, I want to set it out for just a couple of minutes ahead of time.
Mhm.
Okay. Or if I want to do a campaign, maybe today is Monday or Tuesday, and I want the data to be delivered fresh on Friday. I have a full scheduler system here, so I could set up whatever date.
Now, Michael, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second here, but what
Sure.
would be the reason that somebody would want to do that? Why would somebody want to do, run this software at some future time versus just in real time?
Yeah. So if you want the data immediately, great, and you want to start working on it immediately, that's fine. But if you want a fresh campaign to come out with all the new listings the next week, or on a particular day, then you would go ahead and set a future campaign up.
Got it. So it gives you the ability to do just that, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Okay.
But just for this demo, we'll do same day here. I got a couple minutes ahead.
Sure.
Now, each user has the ability to pull up to 250 listings per day for free, okay? And if you want to go above and beyond 250 listings, the system will allow you to do that as well. You pay 1.5 cents per listing, anything above and beyond the 250.
Okay.
So, for example, here I've used all of my 250 scrapes for the day. So I am going to, let's see here. Yep. So I have 250 and I'm pulling 500. So then I'm going to be charged $5. Okay.
Got
So it's basically 1.5 cents above and beyond that. So 1.5 by the 250. So
Sure.
I would hit proceed here. Okay. And I'm just going
Now
to.
I'm going to interrupt you one more time here real quick. So you say you get 250 free. That's basically just pulling the data. That has nothing to do with the actual texting, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm just double checking one thing. Okay.
And then how much is it per additional?
If you want to do additional scrapes
Over
above
the 250.
Yeah, above the 250, then it's 1.5 cents per listing.
Okay, so 0.015.
Correct.
Got it. Per listing. Okay, very cool. All right.
And
Well, let's do it, man. Let's test her out.
Okay, so then I would hit proceed here. And once I proceed, I'll create my campaign. And now the campaign is going live. And this is what'll happen. So I'll hit scraping history here. So the system is scheduled, okay, to go out in about 2 minutes, okay? And this is what the data looks like. So once it hits, once it goes from scheduled, it'll go to scheduled, and then it'll say processing. Okay, this status will change to processing, and the data is pulled real time. So because of the algorithms and everything Zillow and Craigslist has, basically these listings are sorted one by one, and they're all processed real time for you. Okay, and usually they're going to be delivered within just a few minutes. Okay.
Okay. Now that 250 is a day. People can pull 250 a day. Is that basically right?
For free, yes. 250 a day.
250, then they have to pay the 1.5 cents. Okay.
Right, that's correct. Other than the monthly subscription, with your discount, David, of course, is $99 a month.
Okay, very cool.
But again, everything that includes the 250 a day, and then above that is 1.5 cents each.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
And that's going to serve usually your average user, but power users are going to want maybe more than that. So okay. So this is what the data looks like when it's pulled. So we have a quick view. Okay. So I'll hit view right here, and I can see. Okay, I've pulled my URL. I've pulled my address, the price of the property, the owner's contact number.
Oh, wow. That's pretty neat.
And then I hit download here. Okay. And once I've hit download, I then would go ahead and want to start a SMS. So you see the start SMS button on the right side.
So all from this right here. Got it.
Correct. And when you send a text message, our rates are very competitive. We're at 3 cents a message to send and 3 cents to receive.
Okay.
And I'll do test 65 St. Louis. Okay. If I have additional data, I can upload extra contacts. So if I have other phone number lists I want to upload, I can do that.
Got it.
Now I have select voicemail recording. So when maybe I have multiple voicemail boxes, maybe there's a different person that you want on your voicemail, whatever you want to do, you can do. Mine just sounds very simple. It's just, hey, this is Michael, leave a message.
Yeah,
right?
keep it simple. We're all about simple here. Now, again, this phone isn't going to ring any particular phone. It's just going to go straight to a voicemail, assuming that they call it. Otherwise, they'll text it, and then you'll be able to receive those in another area, I'm assuming.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So that's all implemented here.
Sure.
And then what we've actually done, David, is we have created a system that allows us to send on a massive scale 10-digit phone numbers.
Okay.
10-digit text message. Normally, when you do a massive text campaign, you associate with that with a short code.
Yep.
And most major companies are going to use short codes like Pepsi, AT&T, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is we found in our testing that our response rates in a short code was 11 to 24%, which isn't, it's pretty good. But as soon as we went from short codes to 10-digit phone numbers, our response rates jumped up to 30% minimum, all the way up.
I mean, it's basically like almost doubled or
triple. Yeah, it's crazy. So 30% minimum, 40 to 50% is usually our average. Okay. And the highest campaign I've ever gotten, or highest percentage, was 77%, was actually in the state of Iowa.
Holy cow. So whenever you speak of the short codes, I'm very familiar. We use a texting service,
mm-hmm.
and we had a short code for the first, year and a half that we were using.
Right.
And they came out with the ability to add the 10-digit number, so we jumped on that. And, I totally hear you, man. Our response rates went through the roof whenever we had a real number that also forwards, to our company. So if somebody wants to text it, we use, we'll get an email or we can log into the system and see it. But if they just want to call that number back, then it's just forwarded straight over to our company. So definitely a lot more powerful than a short code. So I definitely can attest to that. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you have a full scheduler here as well. So if you're up at 4 a.m., you probably don't want your text message to go out at 4 a.m. I would recommend somewhere in between the hours of 9 a.m. local time to 8 p.m. local time.
Sure. Yeah. Reasonable hours.
Yeah. And I'd found as long as I'm within those hours, the response rates don't vary a whole lot.
Sure.
You're pretty consistent as long as you're there. And then we've also implemented a system with this. When we did a short code campaign versus a long code campaign or 10-digit phone number, if we sent out more than 200 text messages with our 10-digit phone numbers, we were actually getting blocked by the carriers. So AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, whoever, will block us. So we created the system called a looper system. Okay, so how it works, let's say you send out 1,000 text messages. The platform will send out 200 text messages with one phone number. Okay. And then as soon as it's sent the 200, it'll flip out with another phone number and send 200 more, and so on and so forth until you've actually completed your campaign. So each phone, so our system is sophisticated enough to do that for you as well.
Yeah.
And our response rates, or I'm sorry, our deliverability rates are real close to 100% because of that.
Sure.
So, that's how we get around it. So again, we'll do a text message here. So if I send out my text message, I maybe want that to go out a few minutes if I want it immediately, a few minutes ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then down here, I will I'll create my text message. So I usually use, I saw your house advertised, and I am definitely interested. Would you consider a short-term 9 to 18 month lease purchase / rent to own? So very straightforward campaign. I try to, and any text message you send, I recommend doing 160 characters or less. That way it sends through with just one text message.
one message versus breaking it up into pieces for certain phones and whatnot. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So once I have that message in here, I would just hit start. And this is what it looks like when the text campaign is complete.
Okay.
So I'll use this one, for example. So I'll hit view.
Okay.
You can see here's the message that I sent out.
Okay.
Here's the phone numbers that were associated with the campaign. So I sent this to Baltimore. A 407 area code is Orlando. Okay. And actually all of these numbers, I believe, are Florida.
Right. But I mean, it doesn't really matter though, because somebody can own the property and live in another area or have an area code from, years and years ago, and they lived in a different part of the country. So
right.
The number that's actually being pulled isn't as important as just matching the number to the property address. That's the biggest problem that we have. We don't do a ton of lease options. We do a few here and there, but our biggest problem is just finding motivated sellers.
Sure.
And we can send out mail campaigns, and it could be anywhere from 0% up to maybe as high as 5, 6, 7% on a really, really good one. Very rarely is it even close to 10%. I mean, usually it's only 2, 3, 4%. I'd say average 3, 4%. But again, that's just sending the letter out. If we can skip trace those people and then just call them, it makes more sense to us. And it's actually a lot more cost effective to do that as well. So I love the fact that you are, going for the people that are advertising their home for sale by owner, and they are providing their phone numbers. So you're getting right to the seller, and that they're wanting to sell. Their motivation may not be the peak that I'm looking for a wholesale. However, you're reaching them. So that's all that matters. That's great. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to throw that in there. So that's great.
Yeah, definitely. Any opportunity. And that's what this is designed to do. Instead of having to make cold calls, hand scrape, maybe train a VA, do all this extra stuff, it takes all of that barrier away, right? The idea is that you send out a mass text, okay, and you get responses back to people saying, yes, I would consider your offer. Let's talk about it.
Sure.
And I'm going to show that here now. So after I've sent out this text message, you can see right off the bat, I had someone right here that says, yes, I would consider that. Okay. Happy to discuss that option. This one actually had a voicemail. They called me back.
So they sent the text back in, then a voicemail later, it looks like?
Correct. Okay. Yep. They did both.
So that's a pretty motivated seller right there.
Absolutely. They need your help. So here's another one. And then as I scroll down, here's another one. You could even consider which property you're referring to. It might be an investor that has more than one property.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so the ones that don't have the message response, that just means that it was sent, that they didn't respond though, right?
They didn't respond. Yeah.
What happens if they respond several times?
The system is basically just a one-way system. So what happens is if you send out the text and they respond back to you, that's basically it.
Okay.
It's not a two-way system. And the reason that we do that, I think there's some other systems out there that might be like that. And
it just adds a level of complexity. If they're interested, phone and call them.
Exactly. And I think we get away from that. We want to try and text and do all this stuff. What really makes the money is getting on the phone.
That's a really easy barrier, in my opinion, to overcome. Just simply due to the fact that you can call them and just say, that was one of my assistants texting you, on my behalf. This is my phone number. So if you need to reach me, call me back at this line. So no big deal at all. So this is great. So you can basically see if they respond and or if they send you a voicemail or call back and leave a voicemail. Very cool.
Absolutely. Here's three more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look, just from a glance, you can kind of see, all right, what kind of response
rate did it take for you to get the responses? Because as we all know, everyone's got a cell phone these days. Everyone carries it. It's, I kind of refer to my cell phone as like a digital leash.
Yeah, it's
sometimes I'll like to turn my phone off, but I mean, I operate my business and my life, and my wife and everybody else has to reach me all the time, my business partners. So
Right.
I would think that the response is basically within 24 hours, you're going to probably get 95% of the people responding. Is that a good estimate?
Yeah, and actually, I would say within the first hour, you usually get about 60 to 70% of your total responses.
Okay.
Yeah,
So 24 hours is way too far out.
24 hours, you're going to get. I would say that's probably your maximum window when someone's going to respond. Yeah.
If it's over there, people aren't going to respond.
Exactly.
So 1 hour, 60%, maybe 4 to 6, probably get you up to about 90.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You got it, man.
Cool.
You got it. And then obviously, time is of the essence. As soon as they respond, you just check your campaign. Okay, I got some new responses. Let me call them right now.
Yep.
So, and that's really. So then, really
what do you advise? Because I like that the system is simple. However, it looks like it'd be difficult to track those who had text right away and those who had text maybe 6 hours later. So I'm with you on getting back to them. Time is of the essence, like you just said. Getting back to them sooner than later. So in this case, you just download it maybe an hour later and then go back and download it again 6 hours later and then just delete the ones off that you've already called? Or how do you
that's exactly right. So this campaign, of course, has matured for 24 hours. So after that period, heck, you could even wait 24 hours before you make your calls.
Sure.
This house is going to sell today. Most likely. So if you call them tomorrow, it's probably going to be on the market, and you put a deal together. So you hit download here.
So it doesn't really matter if you're doing it right away. Then is really the point.
Exactly. So I mean, these are on Zillow, these are on Craigslist, and that's what we're going to be leveraging on this platform. Okay. So all right, I now have the data. So again, just from a glance, guys, you can see I probably got at least 40, if not 50% response. Okay. I sent 92 text messages. I don't know the exact number of responses on this, but again, I'm just showing you at a glance.
I mean, it looks really high. It's definitely higher than 50%, in my opinion, just from you scrolling.
Yep. You got it. So, and once I've hit download, this is basically what the campaign looks like. So I'll upload it into a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Right? And I have my Zillow campaign, again, my address, my Zillow link.
Now, the Zillow link that can kind of come in handy, because that way when you're talking to them, you can pull that up and like actually see pictures of the house as well as data on the particular house. So you don't really need to waste time, being like, is it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath? Because that information is most likely already online.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So at that point, when you make the call, you're basically just saying, hey, do you tell them that you're an investor, or how does the pitch go from there, Michael?
You could really do whatever you want to do. I mean, what I would recommend is say that you have a list of tenant buyers that are qualified, that you'd like to put them in the property, and basically go through whatever coaching or whatever training program that you've done in the past.
Sure.
Leverage what you've learned from them and and basically what talk off you've learned from them.
Right.
And then really use this system to run with your training. Exactly. So, and again, I don't know if you use Claude Diamond, Joe McCall, Joe Crump, anyone who's big in that system.
Yeah.
Right. They all have great training programs. So that's who this system is really gonna be best suited for.
Awesome.
Just learn that, and then use this. You have your hot leads, and you go to work. So,
how long have you guys have been live? I know, man, it feels like it's probably been almost a year since we did our first run at this.
Right.
And, I remember you were having some difficulties with the software, and then you basically scrapped it and started all the way from scratch. So I commend you on your efforts and your persistence, man. That's a great skill.
I tell you what, man, it was frustrating. We had 3 months of development, had to be completely scrapped because the code changed. I ended up finding a better development team who understood the the different algorithm changes on a higher level.
Yeah.
And we really went to work on this. In fact, the last 6 months were really just spent on polishing the platform. Okay. We had a working version and people could sign up and do all that 6 months ago, but I wanted to make sure that we worked out as many bugs as possible. You know, the servers could support, you know, people who are getting on the platform, so on and so forth. So again, the most important thing for me was bringing out a product that's going to be able to help as many people as possible, but work, right? And not work today, but work, you know, for the long term, several years from now. I mean, here's the thing, Facebook isn't going away, and now text messaging is integrated with your Facebook Messenger. That's huge, because everyone that you text is probably on Facebook, okay, because they have their house on Zillow. So if they have their house on Zillow, they're in with technology, right? So that's really the reality of it. And then as soon as we leverage Craigslist, you know, you'll just have double the data to pull. So
yeah, that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to testing this out, Michael. This is really cool. And you know, I don't do a ton of lease options. We do a couple here and there. We're primarily a wholesale rehab and rental company here in St. Louis, but this system, it seems like it's going to make it so easy for me to break into the lease option space.
Well, here's a cool thing, and again, this is the first time I'm going to basically show this this idea. Is when we add in Craigslist, okay, you're going to be able to leverage this platform to co-wholesale. I don't know if you do co-wholesaling, but we
actually do quite a bit of co-wholesaling. We have a website, letscowholesale.com, and it's
perfect.
It's just a landing page that we use a Podio web form, and we advertise it at all the local REIAs. So it's definitely not advertised, you know, anywhere nationally, because it's just a St. Louis type of a program. But basically, we can leverage the efforts of other wholesalers marketing, and they can leverage our efforts of building a massive buyers list with over 10,000 buyers on it. So it's a win-win for both people.
So you're going to love this, is when you go on Craigslist and you click on real estate for sale, right? You scroll down, you click this drop-down arrow, and you have real estate wanted. Everyone inside of this list, generally speaking, is going to be a wholesaler. Okay, most people in this spot, not rooms wanted, I had the wrong one. Real estate wanted.
Real estate wanted. Yep. Okay.
Real estate wanted. Most people are we buy houses guys, right? So you can quickly create a list of either buyers or a list of inventory, right, that you get from this system. Okay, and then you can upload them or turn around and market back to them and say, hey, do you have any properties? I'm looking for a flip, or I'm looking for a property, right? And then you can remarket back out to kind of the same list, minus maybe those people that you just got the property from. Let's say you got a list of inventory, and you want to co-wholesale, you know, property 1, 2, and 3. You could remarket back out with the same system.
I love it. Yeah,
so,
this is great. And in this case, you could almost, if you had properties on your website, for example, you could just send these people a link.
Yeah, a link or a mass text to all of your buyers within within an instant, and just leverage it that way. So there's kind of another neat way to use it.
Yeah, very cool.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, this system is really simple to use. It's straightforward. There's not a lot of things going on. It does two things very well. It scrapes data, and it sends out massive texts. We're adding some extra features. Like right now, you have to merge the data manually. So like if I have a text message here and I copy it, I have to bring it over to this list. And let me show you. 8221. All right, I have to actually copy and paste this. So this can take a little bit of time. The first update will have an auto merge feature where we automatically merge the texts with this. Okay, so that's coming. I actually have some other updates as well where we'll be doing what's called address specific texting. And what's cool about that is instead of just sending out a massive text to one, to one list, I can now use address-specific texting to go after real estate for sale by agent properties. Okay, because if I send out a mass text to a list of agents and say, hey, would you consider selling your house for rent to own? They're going to respond back to me with the same message every time that says, which house are you talking about, or which house? Because any good agent's going to have more than one property.
Yeah, not only that, but they're not going to necessarily get paid as much on that type of a deal than if they were to just find a buyer outright too. So
correct.
They're not going to be as motivated to want to work with you.
Right, exactly. And there's actually structures, there's ways that have been taught, or you can do these deals so the agents still get their full 3 or 6% commission, or however they're structuring it now.
Sure.
But basically, we leverage the for sale by agent. If we use address specific texting, we can still send a massive text, but instead of saying that general message, we can say, hey, saw your house on 123 Main Street. Would your client consider doing a rent to own on a short-term basis?
Right.
Then they have a real message in front of them. They know what property you're talking about. They can call that owner quick and say, hey, I have this offer. Would you consider doing it? And then they can get back to you intelligently.
Right. So let me ask you, since you guys are doing the looper system with the phone numbers, I think that's really awesome. It's just kind of a way to bypass getting the numbers blocked and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Does your guys' system have hundreds, if not thousands, of phone numbers that it uses then? And then do they forward back to the same user? How does that work? I mean, that's kind of all behind the scenes and a little bit higher level of a question.
Sure.
I'm just curious. If you could just give me a quick example, that'd be awesome.
So the system knows how many phone numbers you need to have in your platform before it sends out that text.
Got it.
So if you're trying to send out 1,000 messages,
so that it may not be a local number that it's being sent from then, or is it?
Well, you can buy as many numbers as you want.
Got it.
You pay $2 a month to rent the phone number.
Sure.
But you request the number here, okay, and then you can put in say a 407 area code, Florida.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you can just buy as many numbers as you need.
Exactly.
$2 a month.
Yep, $2 a month. And how it'll work is,
so if you try to send out a campaign with 1,000 numbers and you only have, let's say, 4 numbers purchased, will it say you need to buy another number?
Yeah, it'll say buy another. Buy another number or 2 numbers, or it says you need to buy at least 1 more.
Yeah.
So then you'll go into your system, you'll buy it, you'll have it. Now you can do your campaign without.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's how it's programmed. It's all sophisticated. It's simple, but it's sophisticated on the back end.
Right.
Make sure it's user friendly for you guys.
Sure.
We handle all the technical stuff, and just let you focus on doing what you do best. That's making money, doing deals, helping people. So
this is awesome, man. Very cool. Very cool. Well, Michael, I'm thrilled to have you on the show, and thanks for coming back. I wish we could have published that first episode, but things happen. And again, it's kind of a great story of persistence here. So the fact that you scrapped it after 3 months and started over, and it's basically been about a year since we spoke, and here you are with a system that looks like it's awesome and working, and getting response rates of 30 to 50%. Cost of 1.5 cents a listing, and then a cheap monthly subscription, $99. This is kind of a no-brainer for anybody that's looking to do either more marketing or get into marketing for lease options. But it really could just be for anybody that's looking to buy real estate. It doesn't have to be lease options. I think this is probably a really good system for lease options, but it could just be a great system for anybody looking to pick up more rental properties, or just buy property in general too. Absolutely. I mean, it could be leveraged either way. And that's the beauty of the platform. However you want to send your text message, you can say, hey, I'm a cash buyer. And you could even potentially leverage this platform for wholesaling. I mean, the difference is you're not targeting off-market properties. You're targeting properties that are on Craigslist or Zillow. With this platform in particular, but you could still potentially pick up wholesale deals as well. So don't make a mistake about that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're going to be fewer and far between, just like any other type of marketing, because you're really looking for that highly motivated individual for a wholesale. I mean, you have to buy great and be able to sell good. I mean, you still have to be able to sell that deal at a really good discount. So you're going to have a lot less, maybe not, I shouldn't say response rates, but closing rates on those particular deals. But so what? I mean, the cost of the marketing is very inexpensive, and that's really the important thing.
Right, and we've calculated it. You know, if you send out 1,000 text messages, again, we're at 3 cents a message, plus your subscription, and let's assume you don't use any excess scraping. 250, a day is fine. You're basically looking at $130 a month in marketing. Okay, and if you send out 1,000 texts, you get 30% response rate, right? And that's going to be 300 people who text back. Okay, 300 at text back minimum, and generally 20 to 30% of those people are going to be positive. So that's a translation of 1,000 cold calls or 1,000 manual texts. That's 1,000 pieces of hand sorted data.
Absolutely, I get it. I'm with you 100%. I'm thinking I'm going to test this out in my local market either this afternoon or first thing tomorrow, and I'm going to just send out a message that just says, "Hey, I'm an investor, and I don't typically pay retail. However, I'm a cash buyer. Are you interested in working with me?" And just kind of seeing what kind of responses I get on that.
Absolutely.
And I'll try something else. You got to do trial and error sometimes, right?
Yeah. So, but that's the great thing is it's predictable every time. With at least on the lease option side, it's predictable every time. So if I send out 1,000 texts, I know if I get 20 to 30% positive response out of my total,
that's 200 to 300 people.
That's about 60 to 90 leads that I can call tomorrow or today. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And these are highly targeted people that say, yes, let's do a deal or let's talk about it. And you just think about how much time you'll save. It's 10 to 20 times more efficient now. Either you or your VA. So it's just, it's great, man.
Yeah, this is cool, man. This is very cool. Well, Michael, thanks again for coming on the show. I don't want to go too long here because we want to keep our episodes at a reasonable length. This is going to be a difficult episode for those who are just listening. So I'd highly recommend going and watching this on our YouTube channel, Discount Property Investor, and you'll get a lot more value out of it that way. But if you're listening, go to the automatedrei.com. And Michael, how would somebody reach out to you if they had questions? Is there a support or an email or phone number on that particular site, or do you want to give out a particular way for somebody to reach you?
Absolutely. So if you go on our website, down at the bottom of the site is my personal cell phone number. So you can call, you can text, or you can drop me an email. The email is support@theautomatedrei.com. And then phone number 608-432-5606. Okay, guys. And again, you can send me a text, give me a call, whatever you need. I'm here. And then also at the bottom of David's link, or included with his information, just look for his discount. He'll have a discount code that'll bring your monthly subscription from $119 a month direct through me down to $99 a month. Okay, so we take $20 off to go directly through David, help his podcast out, and would love to work with you guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, thanks for the discount. I'm sure the listeners will appreciate that, and I'm going to take advantage of that myself. So that's awesome. So Michael, send me that link, and I'll add it in whenever we publish this here. It'll probably go out in about 2 weeks or so, give or take. But yeah, this is super exciting. And again, thanks for coming back and doing this with me. This is a really, really cool system, and I'm super excited to check it out.
Yep. And last thing here, guys, is there will be a 7-day trial as well. So if for some reason you jump on, you're not happy with the platform, whatever the case is, cancel within 7 days, you get your money back. You only pay for the text messaging that you use.
Awesome.
In our system. So
hey, that's great, man. I love that. That's really cool that you offer that.
Awesome.
Michael, thanks again for coming on, man. This has been a great
take care.
show. And if anybody has any more questions, you can reach out to Michael directly. TheAutomatedREI.com. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will catch you on the next episode.
Great.
Until
Thanks,
then.
guys. Take care.
Thanks, Michael.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, please visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support, and remember, you make your money when you buy, and you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.